أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. In your honor today that we have this opportunity and we are in this position that God has given us to extol Him and to commemorate His name and praise Him and glorify Him. And so this is a unique chance and opportunity that we are given by God. And again, this is by divine design and providence. And we are really humbled today to have this, and our test is not over today. God has given us another chance to redeem ourselves, and we are put in this position to enjoy this few minutes that we are commemorating God, and we are again we are honored and blessed by this huge blessing that we are receiving from God. And again, as I said, it's not by accident that we are here. This is by divine design. Our time is not up yet, and so we have the opportunity and the chance to make ourselves better and believe in God alone, and remind ourselves that that's the only way that we can succeed. And then we also have to believe in the last day, which is a huge stumbling block for a lot of people, that they're going to be resurrected again. And so we are leading a righteous life, inshallah, and that is the most important thing that could happen to us. So this is a huge blessing that we have today, and accordingly we have to be grateful to God, who is the source of all of these goodness and provisions that we have, and make sure that we are grateful to Him, and remember this fact that everything that we have is from God, and never forget it. Never become unappreciative of the blessings that God has given us, and be thankful to Him and commemorate Him frequently. Have Him on our mind and our thoughts, and so we should strive in that cause. Okay, so what I really want to talk to you about today is the idea of resurrection, and God has given us another chance. Okay, so this is amazing, and He says that in chapter 67, He says that He created death and life, and that life was another chance for us to redeem ourselves from the mistake that we made. Remember now in chapter 2, God is telling us what kind of mistake we made. It was a horrendous mistake. It's a mistake that we actually, by that action that we took, we actually confess that Satan is the righteous and the truthful one, and God is lying to us by disobeying God's commandment and listening to Satan's enticement. So that was a huge, horrendous mistake that we made, and as a result, we were given this opportunity here. Okay, again, in this worldly life, which is going to be temporary. It's not eternal. So when you're a baby, you don't understand these things. As you grow up later, you understand that you came face to face with the reality that your existence in this world is not eternal, and sometimes you have to leave this world, and that comes as a shock to a lot of kids. So with that horrendous mistake that we made, God gave us this life, and so what was before that? What was before the death and life? We don't know. That was another state of existence that we do not understand, cannot be explained to us. But anyway, so this life was given us, which is a God-like quality. Okay, God is living. Okay, so He gave us this huge blessing, which is this life. And so we cannot squander this opportunity. have to be very careful, okay? And so we have to make sure that we take the opportunity and make a person who is better than the one that we were yesterday and day before yesterday, and so on and so forth. Okay? And God knows that. God knows that we are going to be doubtful of our resurrection again. So he spells out for us in the Quran, and if you go to the Quran, and you go to chapter 22, the pilgrimage, okay, 22:5, it says, "Oh, you people, all of us, without exception, okay, all of us, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, then we have indeed created you from clay." That's what God did to Adam. Okay. Then from semen, then from an embryo, then from a fetus, which was deemed created or not created. People argue about that. Well, is this a living thing or not a living thing? In order to clarify for you, this is part of God's creation. God said, do not change his creation. Okay. Okay, so we go on here, and it says that, and we place in the wombs what we will for a predetermined interim. That's the way that God is creating us. Okay. You cannot oppose the system. You have to love it. You have to offer peace to God and be at peace with the system that he has created. Okay. Then we bring you out as a baby. Then we develop you to full maturity. And then God says, and amongst you are some who die and some who reach the oldest age. Why? In order to realize that nothing can be learned any longer. Okay? So some people die young. But that is God's system. Okay? The test is over. You're supposed to go back. This life is a temporary life. God says so. Now, he brings an example. And you see the barren land, then we send down water upon it, whereby it vibrates, multiplies, and grows all kinds of beautiful things. We see that every spring. Okay? Your trees have no leaves. During the fall and winter, they lost all of their leaves. That's their sort of their lungs. Can you believe that? That's their lungs. The leaves on the tree is just like our lungs. Like you, all of a sudden you lose your lungs. How would you feel? You can breathe, obviously. This is, as soon as God pours water upon it, the rain comes, the spring rain comes, whereby it vibrates, multiplies, and grows all kinds of beautiful things. You put the tomato plant, a seed. You put a seed in there, and the seed germinates. Okay? And then it grows into a plant. And it smells beautiful. And then all of a sudden these red fruits come out, and those are tomatoes. Multiplies. Okay? And now every seed in that tomato also has the information to create another one. Can you imagine that? So why is it like this? This is because God indeed is the truth. And indeed he resurrects the dead. And indeed he is all powerful over all things. This is what God wants to instill in our heads. Okay? That we should not be in doubt about this. He has given us hope. And this is not false hope, my friends. This is the true fact as it is day right now in the United States. Okay? So this hope that we are going to have is coming from God. Even in the darkest hour, if you feel down, okay, He still gives you hope. The loved ones that you lost are going to be resurrected. That's what God says. This is because God indeed is the truth, and He indeed resurrects the dead, and indeed He is all powerful over all things. Okay? And then He tells us again, and indeed the hour is coming without a doubt, and surely God resurrects those who are in graves. How many ways does He have to tell you this? Please believe me. That's what God is saying. Don't lose hope. Doesn't matter what happened to them, in what shape they are, it doesn't make any difference. Okay? I told you that seed, that tomato, has all the information necessary to grow another tomato plant. All the information is in there. Your DNA has all the information to reproduce you. Okay? And God says in an image that He wants, that He wills. That's how He can do it. So in the darkest times, when all the hope seems to be gone, and you can complain and think, why me? God is giving you the good news. Don't worry about it. Just be patient, and it's going to happen. Okay. And again, this is why, because God is the truth. He is telling us the facts. He is telling us the truth. And we reject it as we rejected it before, and had to go through this test. And this test is not fun. Can you imagine if you did not believe in these 3 verses, how bad you feel? But you know that the happiness is going to come your way eventually. And if you go along with what God's system is, believe in God, believe in the last day, believe in the resurrection, and lead a righteous life, okay, that happiness is going to be eternal. So God is telling us. And these verses that I just read, these 3 verses of chapter 22, okay, they are actually strengthened with the fact that they are mathematically coded beyond human capability. Okay, because I'm going to talk about it in the next unit of this prayers. Okay. So 2 ways he is going to tell us in chapter 22, verse 6. This is because God indeed is the truth, and He indeed resurrected the dead. One way, and indeed He's all powerful over all things. Don't have any doubts about it. And indeed the hour is coming, resurrection is coming, again He's telling us, without a doubt. Don't have any doubt about it. And surely God resurrects those who are in graves. Okay? 2 different ways. He gives life to the dead, and He resurrects those who are in the graves. And this is because God is the truth, and He's telling us the truth. And so today, again, we are in this universe, and we are privileged to be in a bigger universe with higher responsibilities, more responsibilities. Okay, it's in a bigger place. God just put us in charge here. And we have to abide by His instructions, and we have to respect His signs. Do not reject His signs. Don't throw it behind your back. Don't make toys out of His signs. Be very careful. Don't say, who cares? Okay. So those signs are supposed to strengthen the meaning of these verses, that no one else could have said this except God alone. And He's the truthful one. And we should not make the same mistake we made before. So this is the beauty of hope that God gives us. On the other hand, those people who are do not believe in these things are hopeless. They think this is it. They suffer the consequences of their hopelessness. Okay? So we indeed create our own hell by not believing in God. But if we do that, if we take these things, we say we hear and we obey, we do that, then we are filled with hope and aspirations, and a future which is bright. A future which is full of promise. A future which is hopeful. A future which is hopefully, God's grace, we are going to spend at His side for eternity. Okay. That you don't have any death. The only one you remember is that first death, that God put us to death. Okay? And it's not a very good state of existence. Okay? Because that's the place, that state of existence is called death, takes you away from God, because that's not God's state of existence. Okay? It's not one of His names. Okay? Life is, He is the living, the eternal. Okay? So this is the beauty of these verses that I just wanted to share with you, okay? Which actually gives you hope, gives you a lot of encouragement in your daily life. The future is bright. You have to learn to be patient. And that patience and perseverance only comes with God's help. Okay? When the time comes, God will fix it somehow. Okay? And that's what we have to believe. I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this unit. Allah.